Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and I gotta tell you, I love life. But when I'm not being a husband, a father, a grandfather, an author, or a practicing chiropractor, I'm the host of the television show Loving Life with Dr. Tim Weir. I love to cook. I love to travel. I like to spend time with people who do what they love and love what they do. Join me and Elvis for the next 30 minutes as we help you discover how to love life. Hey, I'm with one of my favorite people in the world, Mayor Vivian Jones from the great town of Wake Forest. Mayor,
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Man, I'm telling you, you got a job on your hands.
It's a good job, though.
It's a wonderful job. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that because as a small business owner, I'm always looking for somebody who's going to keep small business in mind, and it almost, there has to be an environment where that can grow. And I love your story of how you started, because you always haven't been a mayor.
No.
You didn't get out of school and then you were mayor.
That's true.
Because you've run businesses.
Yes.
And you know what that's like.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, my sister and I had a small cafe and a catering business in downtown Wake Forest, starting in 1991. So we had the restaurant for about 8 years and then turned it into, we stopped having a restaurant, but we had a kitchen shop, and we continued with the catering until I was elected mayor, and then we stopped because I didn't have time to cook anymore.
And I'm telling you, I think if there's one business that's I think is probably the hardest, and that's restaurant.
Oh, it is. But well, we love to cook, we love to entertain, so it was a lot of fun for us, and we loved getting to know the people. But we were here at a time when, actually before Wake Forest started to grow. Wake Forest was just beginning to start its renaissance.
Yes.
At that time, and so we are very interested in making sure that, I'm very interested in making sure that small businesses have every opportunity that they possibly can have, because that's where most of the jobs come from. That's where most of the success comes from. So I'd much rather have 20 small businesses with 5 employees than one business with 100 employees.
Right.
Because it's better for the economy, it's better for the community.
So as you look back over your career as mayor the past number of years, what would you say the highlights of, what have you done to do just that, to encourage that?
Right. Well, I have worked really hard to keep downtown as one of the focuses, because that's where a lot of small business is located, and that keeping that small town feel, that vibrancy in our downtown is very important, I think, to the whole community. And so that's been one of the focuses that I've had is downtown, and keeping it going and keeping the businesses there going and adding more. And also I've been very involved in transit, for one thing, because I think that helps us to get around.
Yeah, that's always nice.
And so I started out with that because actually the Winn-Dixie moved from downtown years and years ago, and it left a bulk of our citizens who had no transportation. They were walking to the grocery store from their homes.
Sure.
And they had no transportation. And so I started going to every meeting I could see that had transportation in the title, and trying to partner, at telling people we wanted to partner. And so we were able then to partner with Go Triangle to get the bus to go downtown, and then with the CAT system in Raleigh to get our loop bus. And it has made it a big difference in people's lives.
It's huge. And now we've got, I don't even know how many new grocery stores.
Oh yes, but you know what? We still don't have a grocery store that is close to that group of people, the lower income, who really are suffering for transportation.
It's my understanding that Wake Forest is not just for Wake Forest, but there are little towns that feed into it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like on the weekends, come do their grocery shopping.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, although to us it looks like, man, there's another grocery store, there probably aren't enough.
Well, that grocery stores do their due diligence, and they figure out how many people are in their service area, and I think all of the grocery stores seem to be doing well.
Oh, they're huge.
So,
yeah, great.
But because we have like 150,000 people within a 5-mile radius of Wake Forest, so
Wow.
it takes a lot of grocery stores to serve those people.
I want to go back down to the downtown.
Okay.
Your concept there,
Okay.
because I think sometimes people don't understand that downtown can go downhill really fast.
Oh, yes, yes.
My wife is from Scotland Neck, and it's like almost like ghost town as you drive through there. And I love downtown Wake Forest because it is alive.
Right,
And let's talk about the Friday nights.
yes.
How cool is that?
Oh, very cool. Very cool to have all those people coming downtown. And it has been a big help to our merchants in downtown too. You know, people don't necessarily buy a lot of stuff on Friday night during Friday night on White, but they come back later.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people have actually discovered that we have a downtown that didn't know that.
They think it was out by Walmart.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So,
Wow.
So it's been a big benefit to the merchants.
Where do you see us going in the next 10 years?
Oh, well, we're going to continue to grow. And we just completed an update to the Renaissance plan for downtown. Our downtown will grow. We have some a couple of issues with property owners who don't want to sell or don't want to fix up their buildings and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of held us back a little bit because we have a lot of people who really want to come to downtown Wake Forest. But we have townhomes that are being built now at the corner of Franklin Street and Calvin Jones Highway. And we have a building that is probably going to be approved on Waite Avenue. We have buildings that are probably going to be approved on South White Street, right downtown. So we're going to have a lot of influx of people living in that area, which is going to be huge for bringing people.
Because I know right down there by over the falls restaurant, there's some townhomes going in there.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think the downtown is going to really grow in the next 5 years, but the rest of the community is growing too. We're development is all over, and
Well, it's like having a 3-year-old child. I mean, it would be wonderful if they stayed that size, but they don't.
but they don't.
Yeah. So you have to go to the store, get them new clothes, and do all that kind of stuff. And it's the same way with a town. It's going to grow.
Exactly.
So you might as well just.
Well, it's a whole lot better to grow than not to grow.
Yeah.
You mentioned Scotland Neck. That we have so many towns in eastern North Carolina that are really going down because people are moving out, and so it's much better to grow than not to grow.
Absolutely.
But it does bring issues, and we're trying to address those with, I guess the one thing that people would talk the most about is traffic. People love living here, but then they complain about the traffic.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. But we are doing some things to help alleviate the traffic and make it better, and turning Capitol Boulevard into a freeway, which will start in 2020, will be a good thing.
Which is a great thing.
That'll be a great thing for the community, and the transit. We're going to expand the transit with the Wake Transit Plan being approved. We're going to expand our service to Raleigh. We're going to also expand the service around town, and there's the commuter rail from Wake Forest to downtown Raleigh and beyond is in the plan, but not in the first 10 years.
Yeah.
But with all the stuff that's going on, it's very possible we could get that done before the second 10 years. And so, I'm really working on that very hard and talking with the transit people.
That would be just like going to Disney World every day.
Yeah.
Get on that little transit.
It would.
Listen, I think you're doing a fabulous job. I'm so proud to have you as mayor. So.
Thank you so very much.
And I'm looking forward to the next, 35 years of doing that. Thank you for being with
Thank you so much.
us. You're amazing. Don't change the channel. We got a whole lot more coming up.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Hey, I'm always looking for people who love life
Love life. Very
and
much so.
love to share it with others. And I'm with Jim Thompson. He's Mayor Pro Tem of the city of, is it city or town?
Town of Wake Forest, technically, yep.
Gonna be city, I think, eventually.
It's getting big.
Oh, I'm telling you.
It's getting big.
Well, thank you for joining me
Absolutely,
today.
absolutely. Thank you for allowing me to come out today. This has been fantastic.
So as we've been talking, I love your, because you've got a story to tell about, well, for one thing, your health and lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Let's
absolutely.
talk about that a little
Yeah,
bit.
so, I tell this story often with, I have a 10-year-old daughter, and it's been almost 7 years ago, I quit smoking. And when I decided to quit smoking, it was one of those things the doctor had been constantly telling me, Jim, you need to do this. And I always said I was so worried about gaining weight. And finally, he got to the point where he said, look, Jim, I'm gonna tell you something. Now, you may quit smoking and you may gain weight, and that's fine. But if you continue to smoke, and when I have to take out one of your lungs, we cannot replace your lungs. You can lose weight, but I can't fix that. Once that's done, that's done. But if you gain 30 or 40 pounds, you can fix that. So I did end up quitting smoking, and I gained like 60 pounds. It was even worse. So anyway, I'd gotten to about 325, and I finally managed to get down to about 285 over like a little bit of, after about 3 years or so, about 3 years ago. But I sort of hit this wall, sort of lost the motivation. And then one time my daughter and I were sitting, we were doing something with Y Guides together, and there was a ride that we were both going to get on together. And they looked at me and they're like, so I'm just curious, how much do you weigh? And I was like, I'm about 285. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, you have to be you can't be more than 250 pounds to even ride this ride.
Wow.
And seeing the look in my daughter's face, knowing that, here's her dad who's overweight and can't even participate in something with her. And it was just one of those moments. I said, all right, I've got to forget the diet thing. I've got to change my life. I mean, I've just got to make a huge change in my life, not just something that's going to be a 3-month, 6-month thing, but a permanent lifetime change.
Exactly.
So I just really focused on eating well, trying to just watch what I eat. I wasn't really, anal about it, but I was very meticulous about, just trying to watch. I kind of coined this phrase of, the way to lose weight is if you move your feet more than you move your fork. I mean, it's really no complicated process. It's like take it, steal it, do whatever. But the whole idea is
really
essentially.
true.
I mean, there's really no magic potion.
Right.
I mean, it's essentially. If you're burning 2,000 calories a day and you're taking in 1,500, chances are you're probably going to lose weight.
Right.
Versus on the flip side, if you're taking in 3,500 calories a day and burning 1,500, you're probably going to gain weight over a period of time.
Right.
I mean, it's just inevitable. So anyway, so I started losing weight and feeling good about myself, and then I started kind of getting into some exercise routines, and actually started running. I usually run probably anywhere from 3 to 6 miles a week, depending on the weather outside. If it's nice, I'd rather run outside, but I do run and do stuff inside of a gym. But yeah, so it's just been a great feeling for me. I mean, I feel so. I probably feel like I'm in my 20s again. I mean, I'm 46 years old, and I probably feel better than I did even in my 20s.
So, because and again, there's so much focus on this diet, this diet, this
Right.
diet.
Right.
And what we tend to do is we tend to lose, I want to lose weight so I can eat again.
Right. Right. No.
And that doesn't make sense.
Right.
So
You should be eating all the time.
yeah,
I
so
mean,
changing the whole concept of what we eat
Correct.
and
Correct.
eating the right stuff, that's amazing.
Exactly. And the thing is, and sure, can you reward yourself? Absolutely. I mean, can you have cheat days? Absolutely. I mean, there's definitely times when, I'd like to have a bowl of peppermint ice cream at night. I mean, absolutely. But it's that different. You're right, peppermint ice cream is good. But the point is, it's, again, if you do what you're supposed to be doing, eating a balance, even eating a good breakfast in the morning. I mean, I always try to do, I do protein shakes in the morning, just a nice solid, good fruit, good protein, very low calorie, but high in protein to get the day started. Then, lunch, it's usually like smaller lunch sizes, but then I try to snack on little things during the day. And then try to just, again, eat a reasonable dinner. I mean, and variety of things. And I use I have an herb garden out back.
Oh, wow.
So I try to do, using herbs and spices.
Fresh stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Fresh stuff that makes it taste better.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, I think that's the problem with a lot of our foods today is that we add so many things like, so many fats and salts and other things just because we want to try to add flavor to them, even though they're maybe healthy or, they're prepackaged things. I mean, that's another thing too, is really trying to get away from the prepackaged foods and really trying to make, planning out meals in advance so that way this is what we're having for dinner this night, and it's stuff that's healthy and stuff the kids will even eat too. So
I always tell people if you read a label on food and you have to look up words in the dictionary, it's probably not a good thing to eat.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah, I had listened to a great comedian one time. He was talking about if you've ever read the ingredients on the back of I can't believe it's not butter, and he's like, if you read that, you'll be like, I can't believe this is not a chemical weapon. And it's like, this can't be. There's nothing here natural. I'm like, of course it's not butter. It's not even close to butter. It's more closer to napalm. Right. It's not even food. There's it's like a molecule away from being plastic, basically.
It's exactly
I mean,
true.
so
It's very true.
thinking about those natural things, actually using butter. I mean, people are like, oh, don't use butter, but it's okay if you're using a tablespoon for a whole meal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not, you mix that with, like I'll saute something and, a tablespoon of butter and some olive oil, and so you still get the butter flavor, but then you get the healthy benefits of using olive oil. So you still get the flavor, but it's not like just totally like overdoing it,
So now you're also running for mayor of Wake Forest.
I am.
So let's talk about that and how you possibly want to try to incorporate some healthy stuff
Absolutely.
into the town.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, outside of just the standard, things about, managing growth, infrastructure, transportation, all the things that are part of government, one of the things that's important to me is health and wellness in the community. Again, based on what I've done in my life, I want to kind of use that as an example to other people to say, hey, look, this is something that is realistic, it is attainable. And the fact is we have, I was involved in our Parks and Recreation Advisory Board for a number of years, which kind of oversees all of our parks and greenways. And so, wanting to use that and kind of parlay that into saying, hey, look, we have so many great amenities in our town that you have no excuse to not be able to get out and get active. And I've kind of used this hashtag, get out, get active, Wake Forest, anytime I'm out on the greenways or whatever, just to, again, encourage people to get out and get active. But more importantly than that, I think, is we actually have a new community center that's being built. It should be open sometime in 2019. But one of the neat things about that community center is that there's actually going to be a kitchen there. So that we can actually do classes in that facility.
Oh, wow.
So actually being able to go to, citizens having the chance to actually go to our Parks and Recreation Department and learn about, maybe healthy nutrition, proper diet, ways to make your food taste better that you don't have to add a lot of other stuff that, is not healthy for you. Because there's so many ways to do that. But one of the things I wanted to do is do sort of this Mayor's Fitness Challenge and actually have a whole month where we encourage people to not only get out in our parks, but get out and use the facilities that are in our towns, whether it's businesses that are in town. You think about local chiropractors or doing your doctor, getting preventative checkups.
Exactly.
I mean, all those things that make you well and make you healthy. And I'd actually like to kick it off at a Mayor's 5K where we kick off the whole month and the whole, with a 5K event that we actually can get it started and maybe hopefully even raise some money for some charity or something like that, and kind of,
Can
especially
you
like
use
the food
golf
pay-
carts in that 5K?
Absolutely. For those who want to just get out and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, exactly.
Support. Right. We need marshals to guide
funny.
the parade.
Well, listen, it's been an honor to meet you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and appreciate
Good
the
luck in
opportunity.
all you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an inspirational story. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Thank you for having me.
You know, there are so many people who look at some scriptures and they say, oftentimes people read scriptures wrong. And one of those scriptures is where it talks about God creating the earth out of nothing. And people say, well, God took nothing and created the earth. But that's not what the scripture says. If you read the scripture, what the scripture actually says is that God created the earth out of things that cannot be seen. And so, in other words, God created things out of invisible things. I want you to understand this, that this here is very temporary. This is the old body we get, and some of us are lucky enough to have it for 85, 90, even 100, 120 years. But it goes away, but there's something that doesn't go away, and that's the spirit part of you. And so that spirit part of you is part of that invisible world. So sometimes when you're looking around you and you say, I'd really like for this to happen or that to happen, but I don't see it. Let me tell you something. There's a whole world of the invisible that's around you. There are businesses, there are relationships, there are other things in this invisible world, and you just have to learn how to tap into the invisible world. So spend some time reading and studying people who know that kind of stuff. Bob Proctor, one of the great, he was part of the book The Secret, the movie Secret. Good friend of mine, great guy. I've been to his home, talked to him. He's got some ideas on how to tap into that world of the invisible. There's other people. I mean, man, Grant Cardone, there's a bunch of people. Mark Victor Hansen. If you've read my book, Mastering the Art of Success, you'll have tapped into some of those people. Les Brown, Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield. Those are all people who have an idea of what it's like to tap into the invisible. So just get tapped in. Listen, there's a whole universe around you. There's a whole world that you haven't even seen yet. Tap into the invisible. Bring that stuff from there into your life, and you'll create some amazing things. You'll create an amazing life.